right now on 13 Action News Live at 6, thousands of people from all over the world come together to demand action against gun violence. March for Our Lives rallies were held in several cities across the country, including right here in Las Vegas. 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter shows us how students here in the Valley made a statement. Austin?
Tom, from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles, folks marched, chanted, and held up signs fighting for stricter gun control laws. And folks right here in the Valley doing the same this morning. Marching through the streets of Las Vegas.
No more silence!
And gun violence!
And calling for change.
People!
Power!
Folks joining forces with a national movement, the March of Our Lives, to end gun violence.
I can't imagine burying one of my children or my grandchildren. It's heartbreaking.
The march bringing out thousands of locals to downtown Saturday morning who say enough is enough.
The gun violence has to stop, the mass shootings.
March for Our Lives was created by the organization #NeverAgain, a group of students who survived the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
We need sensible gun legislation. We're not out to take anybody's guns. We're just out to keep our kids safe.
And now people from all walks of life are calling on lawmakers to address gun violence.
It's so good to see so many people that are in support of this and hoping for change.
In that change, something these marchers say will come when we all stand together.
They say a little child will lead them, and this is the perfect example of it today.
And another march is on the drawing board for April 20th. That's on the 19th anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting. Tom, back to you.
Sibling March for Our Lives rallies happened across the nation. Students from Stoneman Douglas High School marched to the U.S. Capitol, making a passionate plea for an end to gun violence. Florida student Emma Gonzalez read the names of her classmates who were killed in the Valentine's Day shooting. The focus of today's marches went beyond the classroom with calls to protect kids in their communities.
Gun violence is more than just a Chicago problem or a Parkland problem, but it's an American problem.
ABC News reports that it's unlikely that Congress will take up any action on guns this year. Many question if this student-led movement can keep up its momentum and what that will mean for the midterm elections and beyond. The National Rifle Association took to social media today to slam the massive protests calling for stricter gun control. On Facebook, the NRA characterized the movement as a sham organized by, quote, Hollywood elites and gun-hating billionaires. The post accused those billionaires and elites of manipulating youth protesters in an effort to, quote, destroy the Second Amendment. We have a slideshow of today's photos from today's March for Our Lives event. Just look for the story on our website at ktnv.com. Well, wind. That was definitely the story across the valley. Gusts today actually reached at least 25 miles per hour. And in fact, on my way to work today, I was actually caught up in it. Check that out. That was on the middle of DI. Right in front of me, a giant tumbleweed just building up trash. Carla was actually making fun of me because I grew up on the East Coast and never seen anything like that before, but it was pretty scary for me.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty big, and I kind of hear that Western music. Some of you might know what I'm talking about, kind of in the background there with the tumbleweeds coming down the road. But nevertheless, right now, still going strong in some parts of the valley. North Las Vegas, 36 miles per hour. Nellis at 35 and Henderson at 35 miles per hour. As far as sustained wind speeds, also still quite strong. Henderson close to 30. Sustained. Nellis Air Force Base, you're right there. And the Southern Highlands at 18. So the rest of the evening, we're still holding on to breezy and then upper end breezy and low end windy conditions for about the next hour. I think we're still going to see gusts to about 35, and then they'll drop off a little bit as we head to later on this evening. So I'm going to track those winds hour by hour for the rest of the night and tomorrow and tell you how cool it will be in your neighborhood tomorrow, because we are tracking cooler temperatures in your 13 First Alert forecast.
All right, thanks, Carla. The family of a 9-year-old boy hit and killed after school is in shock. 13 Action News spoke to the victim's mother, who says her 2 other children were with him when the tragedy happened. The boy was hit by a black SUV near Silverado Ranch and Maryland Parkway near Silvestri Junior High School. First responders had to lift the vehicle to remove the boy. He was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Police say the female driver, who had a child with her, was not impaired or speeding when she tried to make a right turn. Parents say they often see distracted drivers near that intersection.
We need to slow down, look around. I know we all want to get somewhere. We need to get somewhere fast, but there's kids everywhere.
Now, police say the driver is cooperating in that investigation. Henderson police are increasing patrols next week at intersections and crosswalks because of spring break. They're expecting more people on the roads, and they're looking for drivers who aren't paying attention. Officers are reminding drivers and pedestrians to be aware of their surroundings. New information tonight about the Reno student suspended after cursing in a call to his congressman's office. Noah Christensen called Congressman Mark Amadei's office expressing his concerns over gun violence, and the congressman's office called the school, who then suspended him. Well, the ACLU got involved, saying the school district violated his right to free speech, and yesterday the Washoe County School District said they would wipe his 2-day suspension from his record and that they wanted to avoid a potential cost of a lawsuit with the ACLU. A Kansas City water park and its operator have been charged with involuntary manslaughter in connection with a 10-year-old's death. You'll remember in 2016, Caleb Schwab died from a neck injury while riding the world's tallest water slide at Schlitterbahn. Investigators say Caleb was somehow decapitated on the ride. It was closed indefinitely after his death. Angry protests continue in Sacramento after the shooting of an unarmed black man in his grandmother's backyard. The crowd blocking streets and bridges and in some cases clashing with drivers. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest from Sacramento.
An impassioned vigil,
We got to stand together.
clashes with police, and unfiltered emotion. Stephon Clark's brother confronting officers on the streets of Sacramento.
That was my brother. 20 times. 20 times.
Days after body camera video captured officers shooting the unarmed young father 20 times.
Show me your hands. Good.
Killing him in his grandmother's backyard.
No justice. No peace.
Demonstrators for a second day shutting down streets.
What's going on here? We want answers. We're not going nowhere until we get the answers.
Answers the police chief says they are working to get.
Our main focus is to gather all the facts.
Reviewing aerial video they believe shows Clark on the run after reports of car vandalisms in the area and these dramatic body cam videos. Also questioning the two officers, one white, one African American, who are now on administrative leave, about why they thought Clark had a gun when all that was found at the scene was this cell phone. ABC senior legal correspondent Sunny Hostin telling Dan her perspective on the case.
What the law provides, Dan, is it doesn't have to be an actual threat. It doesn't have to be an actual gun. It only has to be that the police officer perceives the threat. I can't imagine that even an external investigation is going to determine that this shooting was unjustified.
But police here say it is far too early to make any determination, explaining the investigation will likely take at least a couple of months. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Sacramento.
The mysterious deaths of 4 family members vacationing in Mexico is baffling investigators and bringing heartache to an Iowa town. A moment of silence was held tonight at a basketball game that family was supposed to attend. The bodies of Kevin Sharp, his wife Marie, and their children Sterling and Adriana discovered on Friday in a condo complex where they were staying just a few miles away from the popular resort town of Tulum. Authorities found no traces of violence and no signs of forced entry. There are no photos, no social media, no phone calls. The family missed a meeting with a friend, then failed to return to home on their scheduled flight.
When they didn't arrive last night and we didn't hear anything, we started posting on social media, trying to figure out what we could do.
Autopsies are being conducted in Mexico to try and figure out what happened. Looking ahead tonight, the Strip will go dark to recognize Earth Hour. It's the world's largest global movement for climate change. At 8:30 tonight, many properties will turn off their lights to illuminate blue to support the cause. And Easter comes early to the Valley. Dozens of kids and their families celebrated the annual Bunny Hop today at Tivoli Village. There was a big Easter egg hunt, and the Easter Bunny was also there for all the fun. If you're looking for Easter-related events around the Valley, we have a full list for you on our website at ktnv.com. Well, car trouble can be a pain, and it can happen at the most inconvenient time. However, we'll take a look at the gadgets that will help ease your stress and hopefully save you some money. Also, a consumer alert. A brand of smoke alarms are recalled. What you need to know to protect yourself. And count on Chopper 13 to bring you breaking news fast and first. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The president and his wife Melania are in Mar-a-Lago tonight. Many people closely watching the first couple ahead of tomorrow's 60 Minutes interview with Stormy Daniels, breaking her silence about her alleged affair with the president more than a decade ago. Here's Daria Albinger with the latest.
President Trump acknowledged the nationwide gun control rallies just hours before thousands of students descend on the White House. tweeting that he's banning bump stocks, devices like the ones used in the Vegas massacre that can turn semi-automatic rifles into machine guns. Trump initially suggested sweeping gun control after the deadly shooting in Parkland, like raising the purchasing age and confiscating guns from criminals.
We have to keep the guns out of the hands of those that pose the threat.
But after a meeting with the NRA, those proposals went nowhere.
The NRA doesn't back any ban.
The newest regulation was swiftly attacked by the right. Many are still reeling over the budget-busting spending bill Trump approved on Friday. Initially, the president threatened to veto the bill that his staff one day earlier told Congress to support.
Is the president going to sign the bill? The answer is yes. Why? Because it funds his priorities.
The $1.3 trillion bill allots just $1.6 billion for a wall along the Mexican border, or 33 miles of fencing. President Trump, who asked for $25 billion, fumed that it wasn't enough.
I will never sign another bill like this again. I'm not going to do it again.
Less than 12 hours before a government shutdown, House Speaker Paul Ryan called the president, and then Secretary of Defense General Mattis successfully made the case that it was good for the troops. But then in a late-night move, Trump announced a more narrow ban on transgender service members. The new policy bans troops who require surgery or medical treatment. That policy is still subject to court order against the original blanketed ban against transgender troops.
The street where a pedestrian bridge collapsed last week in Miami has now reopened. Crews spent days digging through rubble locating victims of the accident that killed 6 people. They then began clearing debris and fixing road damage caused by the tragic collapse. The Miami Herald reports officials asked callers on a telephone town hall meeting if they would support building another bridge or tunnel over the highway. 100% of them reportedly responded yes. Now to a consumer alert, almost 500,000 smoke alarms are recalled because they might fail. The affected units have manufacture dates between September 2016 and October 2017. Safety device brand Kidde says they were sold in the U.S. and Canada at Walmart, Amazon, and Home Depot. Kidde recommends looking through the opening on the side for a yellow cap. It'll prevent smoke from reaching the sensors and activating the alarm. If no cap is present, then the alarm can be safely reinstalled. Well, most of us have been there. You hear a funny noise coming from your car, or the engine starts smoking, or maybe you just break down completely on the side of the road. Well, Scripps reporter Annie Taylor has been looking for some easy and inexpensive ways to take a worry out of the bad situation, saving you time and money and giving you peace of mind.
Car trouble is the worst, and it mostly happens at the most inopportune time. And if you're like me, you're probably not car savvy. That is why you should have one of these devices in your car at all times. You plug it in and it tells you what your check engine light is indicating.
With those type of pieces of equipment, what they do is they tap into the onboard computer system of the vehicle and they retrieve what are a series of stored trouble codes or fault codes.
Mechanic Dave Guthrie says this device can be beneficial when it comes to troubleshooting the problem, saving you both money and time.
For example, if the fault code pertains or points to a faulty gas cap, it's probably less likely you're going to get stuck or have to worry about, stopping your day-to-day and get it looked at immediately.
The next device to always have in your car is a portable battery. How it works is you take the jumper cables, you place them on the terminal, and then you press this green button. Once that's done, you turn the car on, and voila, you just jump started your car in 90 seconds.
So those tools can be very beneficial, especially to the consumer. Quite frankly, a vehicle can have upwards of, a million moving parts, so that's a lot of potential things that can go wrong.
Car trouble or not, Dave Guthrie says that you should take your car into the mechanic at least twice a year.
Bank of America agrees to pay a $42 million fine for admitting to intentionally misleading investors about where trades took place. Authorities say the bank reprogrammed its electronic trading system to automatically doctor trade confirmation messages. Only institutional investors were victims of the practice. 13 Action News is teaming up with Nevada Job Connect to let you know about employment opportunities around the valley. There's an opening for a shift manager with at least 6 months of related experience. Pay there is $9 an hour. Also, an opening for a commercial driver. You must have a valid Class A CDL and at least 2 years of experience. Pay is $21 an hour. And an opening for a plumber with at least a year of experience. For more information on these jobs and other jobs around the valley, just go to ktnv.com/jobs. The Golden Knights lose a game on the road in Denver today. They fell to the Avalanche in a shootout 2-1. The loss prevented the Knights from clinching a playoff spot. It was also goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury's first game back after sustaining an injury on Tuesday. The size of the Arctic Sea is extremely low for the 4th year in a row. The northern Arctic sea ice grows and shrinks depending on the season, but NASA says the ice cover reached its maximum size for the year last week. Scientists say low Arctic sea ice usually affects climate and ocean circulation around the world. It can also hurt animals and plants that depend on the ice, as well as change shipping routes.
Well, the strongest gust so far today, Nellis Air Force Base with 40-mile-per-hour gusts, and I think these are going to be the final numbers for the day. You can see, other than that, it's really concentrated in southern portions of the valley. 38-mile-per-hour gusts in Boulder City and the southern highlands at 38. Henderson not too far behind with 35-mile-per-hour gusts. There is our big system. Take a look at how clear this counterclockwise rotation is, and a very large system that is going to take its time moving through the area. So that means breezy to windy conditions are going to continue over the next several days. These are sustained wind speeds right now. Nellis Air Force Base, 30-mile-per-hour sustained winds, 29 in Henderson, 24 in Boulder City, and North Las Vegas at 21 miles per hour. So let's track those winds hour by hour for the rest of the evening. You can see 7 o'clock, still close to 20 miles per hour as far as sustained wind speeds are concerned. So I think we're going to continue to see gusts to about 35 miles per hour for the rest of the evening. There's the 9 o'clock hour, and the numbers look very similar even to the late night hours. This is 11 o'clock tonight. Things sort of ease off once we head into Sunday. This is 8 a.m. and you can see the numbers similar but a little lower. So we're thinking upper end of the breezy category for tomorrow. There's lunchtime, 13-mile-per-hour winds at McCarran, but still closer to 20 there in southern portions of the valley. Boulder City at 21. There's a 4 o'clock hour. You can see the numbers continue to come down, and the trend continues until the 8 o'clock hour. So things are going to ease off before they pick back up on Monday as the system makes its final exit on Monday and Tuesday. Again, it's a very slow mover. So for tomorrow, gusts to about 30 miles per hour. Again, that's upper end of the breezy category. Then we're low and windy. On Monday, 35-mile-per-hour gusts as it starts to make its exit. It's a slow one, so on Tuesday, we're still looking at 35-mile-per-hour gusts. But by then, we're looking at a shift in the direction of the winds to the north. So it'll be northern portions of the valley that see the strongest gusts at the start of the work week. And unfortunately, that allergy forecast matches the gusty conditions over the next couple of days. We're going to remain really high Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Right now, 67 degrees in North Las Vegas, 66 in Las Vegas. So temperatures weren't too bad, but we are going to be shaving a few degrees off of temperatures for tomorrow as the system drags in some cooler air. So overnight, 50 for central portions of the valley, but other than that, we're looking at a lot of upper 40s, 49 Sunrise Manor, North Las Vegas at 49, 47 in Summerlin, and our cool spot Anthem at 46 degrees. Tomorrow, mid-60s generally the theme. We're going to see cloud cover in and out throughout the day, along with the breezy conditions. 66 the high in Henderson, 63 in Anthem, and Centennial Hills also looking at a high of 63 degrees. But overall, it'll be a nice day. Yes, we are going to have that nuisance wind going, but we are going to see sunshine as well, and temperatures will be sort of mild. The low average for this time of year, you may want to grab a light jacket, but some of you may be just fine. So elsewhere across the area, if you're doing anything outdoors, not the best day for boating at Lake Mead. You could get away with some hiking for tomorrow, but it will be chilly in a higher elevation. Just take a look at that high. Mount Charleston, 41 degrees. There's your 13 First Alert 7-day planner. Below average temperatures, the theme over the next several days, along with the breezy to windy conditions. But once that system moves out, high pressure moves in, and take a look at how clear that is. 75 Wednesday, we're approaching the 80-degree mark on Thursday, but once we head to Friday and Saturday, we're going to be right along that 80-degree mark. So finally, we'll get above average, and we'll get some of that spring warmth we like to see here in the Las Vegas Valley. Back to you.
80s, that's what I like to see. Thanks, Carla. Well, there's a competition for everything, right? Thousands watched fireworks for the 9th Philippine International Pyro Musical Competition. Pyrotechnics experts from all over the world showcased their talents. The grand winners were from Germany and the United Kingdom. The Philippines didn't compete, but they did perform a fireworks exhibition. A boy in need of a life-saving treatment finally gets the news he's been waiting for, and it's delivered to him with the help of a character from a galaxy far, far away. Welcome back. Well, almost 18 years later, a teenager gives back to the hospital that saved his life by donating rocking chairs. Zach Cicero was born premature at St. Joseph Hospital in Chicago. He spent 3.5 months in the NICU. His mom spent many hours in a rocking chair with him, singing or reading books to him. So for his service project, Zach and his friends put together 4 brand new rocking chairs to donate to the hospital.
You don't really expect it. it's not something you could like prepare yourself for. It's one of the best moments of my life, I can tell you that.
Well, Zach's 18th birthday is tomorrow. He'll graduate high school this year and is working towards becoming an Eagle Scout. He'll then start school at Concordia University at Chicago in the fall. Good for him. And a die-hard Star Wars fan got the best news of his life from Chewbacca. His doctor promised he would dress up as the character when they found him a heart transplant. ABC's Mallory Gillikin shares this heartwarming story.
Austin Eggleston knows that a visit from Chewbacca means only one thing.
Do we seriously have a heart?
That's Austin's cardiologist, Dr. Philip Thrush, in the Star Wars costume. He had promised Austin that when a donor heart became available, Chewbacca would be the one to tell him.
This moment is huge for these kids, and if I can make it perfect for them, why wouldn't I?
It's a chance at life for him. It's a chance that we've been waiting for so long.
Austin was admitted to Lurie Children's Hospital and listed as a candidate for a heart transplant back in November. While he waited, he looked out for the other young patients.
He made it his business to make sure he knew who was here, what was going on with them, reach out to families and try and make sure that if there's anything he could do, he was like a little mayor.
Dr. Thrush showed off his impressive vocal skills again today as he paid another visit to Austin, who gave us the thumbs up after his successful surgery.
An amazing story there. That was Mallory Gillikin reporting. Well, the movie Black Panther continues to rack up milestones. Its latest accomplishment, it's now the top grossing superhero film of all time in North America, not accounting for inflation. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Black Panther passed 2012's The Avengers today to become #1 all time in the superhero genre. And Variety reports that the film should reach the $630 million mark at the U.S. box office this weekend. That would make the film the 5th highest grossing movie in U.S. history, behind only Star Wars The Force Awakens, Avatar, Titanic, and Jurassic World. Well, Carla has another look at your forecast, but first, here's a live look outside in the valley. You're watching 13 Action News, where you get breaking news fast and first. We'll see you in a minute. And here's a look at what's coming up tonight in the primetime lineup right here on ABC. At 8 o'clock, the movie Over the Hedge. At 10 o'clock, 2020. And of course, stay with us for 13 Action News at 11.
31st alert, 7-day plan or below average temperatures over the next couple of days, along with a little wind, but that will be fairly short-lived once we start off the work week. High pressure building in by midweek, thus the 70s on Wednesday, Thursday, and then a couple of 80s to finish off the week and to start off next weekend. Yes, we do have a little breeze that we're going to throw in on Saturday, but if it's 81 degrees, we are, I think, good to go.
Hey, it's about time for pool season.
I
like
know.
to hear it. Well, that's our news for right now. Stay with us for Judge Judy up next. And of course, we're always on at KTNV, our mobile app, our Roku channel. We'll see you right back here for Action News at 11. Thanks for watching, everybody.